Blog Talk Radio.
Democrats, Republicans, the information's jumbling, the USA is crumbling, y'all think back and summon it. The masturbation, the home invasions, the CPS is coming to snatch your baby. These conversations, they're operating within the zone traded, right in the matrix, now totally rated. They infiltrated, finally the devil gave in. If you can't see me, then pump up the volume. McDonald's, Bin Laden, Osama, Obama, bring up something real, legalized. Everything on a bong hit is as blonde. Radioactive, intergalactic, counter-attacking, complete attraction, make it happen, matter of factly, take the package, get some satisfaction. Radioactive, intergalactic, counter-attacking, complete attraction, make it happen, matter of factly, take the package, get some satisfaction. Obligated in the light, on sick thoughts, come back and fight. All they do is criticize, watch us more, see this life, Halliburton, FEMA camps, opium, contraband, global warming, oil scams, energy now is on demand, from Tennessee to the Rio Grande, their shit is dead, she had a foolish one, our air scam, mercury poison in the plan, think God is sucker bad, believing all the ads, get up and kick dance, maybe I'll ask when they call the draft, internal cover-ups, big pages stuck it shut, some call it brother love, bitch just all the ducks, have you all just had enough, how much more do we have to snuff, this place is in the dust, act quick or we might combust, radioactive, intergalactic, counter-attacking, complete attraction, make it happen, matter of factly, take the package, get some satisfaction, radioactive, intergalactic, counter-attacking, complete attraction, make it happen, matter of factly, take the package, get some satisfaction, brave new world outside, survival bitch or die, enemies of genocide, they strike us down with lightning rod, they try to play like God, as if it was a job, it's all a false facade, go plug it in your iPod, secret societies, they put their eye on me, push me like ivory, invade my privacy, survive erratically, that's my property, I'll make a mockery, or if I go on a shopping spree, my life is gold imported, I'm not a supporter, they think they are immortal, stay up at my little fortress, get the floor out my water, drinking up, it will destroy us, the fact has been recorded, wake up folks, the new world order, radioactive, intergalactic, counter-attacking, complete attraction, make it happen, matter of factly, take the package, get some satisfaction, radioactive, intergalactic, counter-attacking, complete attraction, make it happen, matter of factly, take the package, get some satisfaction,
Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Excuse me, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys being here. So here we are in hour number 2. We've got 90 minutes, and following me will be Vicky in Reno with her show, The Heated Conversation. So they'll be up in 90 minutes. So what I want to do here is I want to get into some talk about this Anwar Laki. And, you know, it ties into what the earlier thing was. And I got to say, you know, it's kind of funny doing these shows. You know, we spend quite a bit of time just reviewing, going through, and some research as far as trying to find some stories that we want to cover. And you get a lot of stories, you know. I said there at the beginning of the last show, I got a lot of different stories to cover. And, I mean, a lot of them might deal with the same thing, but different perspectives. But so, like, for today, I probably got 10, I don't know, 10 or so stories that I bookmarked that I wanted to touch on, but, you end up only talking about 2. And that's every time. So over time, you got like 200 links or articles, and you talked about 10 or something. But it's fine because what's good is if you can spend enough time on a story that it sparks some thought and is thought-provoking and maybe entertaining to a degree, but, maybe we're getting something out of it. And that's the case here with this Anwar al-Awlaki story. This is a really big deal. It was a big deal when Obama signed into law through his executive order that the president could deem you a terrorist and kill you without any kind of judicial system, no going to court, no bringing you in, reading you your Miranda rights or nothing like that. But if he found that you were a terrorist, through that national security stuff that you're supposed to trust. Now, you don't trust the government for anything. But when the president says, yeah, he was a terrorist, and yeah, that guy, he's a terrorist, and we've been out to get him, and I couldn't tell you more, but it's top secret, so I really can't talk about it. You're supposed to believe that. And that's the case with this Anwar al-Awlaki. Now, the media is totally complicit in this whole scheme, this scam, from, since 9/11. They participated in building up these evildoers and terrorists so that you got this, you went from having 5 guys that you might have known about, heard the names about periodically over the years. You went from that to a list of hundreds of different people. Everybody's a terrorist. We're always on the hunt. And they're everywhere, so you got to be forever vigilant. And the president needs more tools because these terrorists are so tricky and diabolical that we can't give you any information. We just need to be able to shoot on sight. So they built up this stupid narrative for all that time, and now here we are, 2011, 10 years after 9/11, and the president of the United States orders a hit on an American who he, the president, has deemed to be a terrorist. And, there's barely a whimper out there. Most Americans could care less. War on terror. It's all messed up anyway. Not a big deal. But it is a big deal. And it goes to, like I was talking on the earlier segment, we're so just whipped. They got this saying that men are, I'm like holding my words because Rusty's in the room and it hurts his ears. How they say men are whipped by women? How they're pussy whipped by women? Well, that's how we are. Citizens of the world are pussy whipped by the government. We just, as long as you keep that Social Security check coming, I just, shit the hell with it. I give up. Just don't take away my food stamps. Just don't mess up my 401k. I just, I don't know whatever. I just can't deal with it. So we're at that point. And they all in the news and everything. Yeah, the president, he killed the American that he said was a terrorist. So we got him. And even worse, you got some people that's celebrating that stuff. I heard it on the conservative talk radio coming home from work. This dang, I can't stand this guy, but, shock jock, Mr. Conservative, talking about, and he hates Obama. Everything is Obama's fault, and Obama is ruining the country, all this stuff, because he's a Republican, and as far as he's concerned, it's all the liberals and Democrats, like a lot of y'all, partisans. blame it all on the left, and it's all Obama. So this guy hates Obama. But on the radio here coming home today, he was defending Obama killing this guy, saying how awful this guy, this Anwar al-Awlaki is, and he's a terrorist, and Obama did the right thing by killing him, and we don't need to be trying to bring him in court and all this stuff. And so here you have this conservative, right-wing neocon defending Obama. And in the same breath, he was dogging Ron Paul, because Ron Paul came out and said that this was dangerous. And Ron Paul was light on it. He wasn't talking. I kind of was disappointed a little bit because he wasn't speaking more strongly on it. But still, Ron Paul said it was wrong, and that basically that, we got a law and a judicial system, and people need to think that you're giving this kind of power to the president. And rather than me try to give you all of it, I got the audio of this, Ron Paul, on Fox News. And again, here's Fox News defending the president killing American, and, with this whole law that he put into place. Fox News defending Obama. This is a crazy world. This country and England are supporting and helping al-Qaeda in Libya against Gaddafi. Al-Qaeda supposedly was fighting and killing our soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we still over there. So this so-called al-Qaeda, I imagine, is still killing and maiming our soldiers. But we're helping, supporting al-Qaeda in Libya. It's upside down. And you got Fox News defending the Democrat, liberal, leftist, Marxist, communist Obama. Fox News is defending them. And this other right-wing radio talk show is condemning Ron Paul, who's the Republican. It's upside down. But let me play this real quick. This is Ron Paul on Fox News talking about the Anwar al-Awlaki killing.
The death of al-Awlaki marks another significant milestone in the broader effort to defeat al-Qaeda and its affiliates. Furthermore, this success is a tribute to our intelligence community and to the efforts of Yemen and its security forces, who have worked closely with the United States over the course of several years.
So al-Awlaki no more. Another big terror guy goes down, and Ron Paul says praising it goes too far. The Republican presidential candidate, Congressman Ron Paul, on the phone with me right now. Congressman, what's your view on this? I mean, the terror bad guy taken out. What do you think of that?
Well, it's probably a net positive. Nobody likes these kind of people, but I also like the rule of law, and I like our Constitution. I like the Fifth Amendment, that you don't just target people and assassinating somebody who has not been charged and you have no proof of anything. So if we want to protect American citizens from that type of justice, we have to be more cautious. This has never been done before. This announced policy was about a year and a half ago by our administration that said that American citizens can now be targeted for assassination. This is very, very dangerous. Who knows what the future will bring? Maybe just dissenters would be potential terrorists already. It doesn't take a whole lot to be a potential terrorist. Somebody who tried to institute sound money was charged with being a terrorist. That was one of the charges made. So I would say that we should be more cautious. So this doesn't mean that we shouldn't deal with this problem and go after these people and deal with it, but just to do this casually or celebrate it, I consider that very dangerous.
Did you feel the same about taking out Osama bin Laden?
Yeah, essentially that. But the idea was somewhat different because I voted for that authority. Bin Laden, had bragged about, how he participated in it, and I voted for the authority to go after him. The disgusting part about bin Laden...
So had al-Awlaki, though. I mean, right? So, I mean, it wasn't as if the two were totally disconnected.
Sure. I mean, what the authority was given to go after the people who participated in the planning and the carrying out of 9/11, and that's not what Alaki's charges are. Matter of fact, he wasn't involved at all. So
we do know that he was instrumental behind the Fort Hood attacks. We do know and many others. Now, let's just focus on that for a second. Would a President Ron Paul then just disband this policy? Because the fear would be that a President Ron Paul would sort of let terrorists do their thing.
No, I would take seriously the oath of office to the Constitution and say that we should follow the law.
Yeah, but
and
I
would not. I strongly object to the president institutionalizing a policy that explicitly says that he has the authority to target American citizens because he believes they're bad people. You don't protect bad people because they deserve it. You protect bad people and go through the process because you think a lot about innocent American people never being treated in this manner. This is something that this is major in many ways about following the rule of law. So
you might be out of the rule of law then. All right, let's leave it aside for a second that people who make a mockery of our rules of law, and then they would see under a President Ron Paul that, wait a minute, he's so strictly following the rule of law that we can walk all over this guy, kill his people. He'll be waiting.
Come on, Neil.
I just want to hear that out. That
you're getting carried away.
No, I'm asking, did you see where this could potentially go, that you're trying to do the right thing under the Constitution, while these guys are literally blowing it up?
Well, maybe we wouldn't be involved in this kind of stuff. Maybe we would not precipitate the efforts to commit suicide terrorism against us. That's the number one problem that we're facing. How many innocent people do you think we've killed in the meantime of trying to assassinate this American citizen? Let's say, for instance, we've killed 100 innocent people trying to hit them with all our drones. How many new dedicated Al-Qaeda are now out there? This is a great recruitment way to kill innocent people. And
I do want to ask real quick one, if I could, reverting back to politics for a second. We've seen a Democrat-leading polling group finding you within a percentage point of President Obama among Florida voters.
Right.
Is Florida a state, even within the Republican Party, that you've got to win or that you think you can win?
I don't deal in those details. Probably some of my staff do. All I do is present the case for liberty, present the case for the Constitution, sound economic policy, sound monetary policy, and a foreign policy that's different. And I want to maximize my vote and maximize my effort, and we're doing quite well. But I don't say Florida is do or die. I don't think in those terms. I do my very best to get the votes, and so far the strategy has been working.
All right. Congressman, good having you on. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Ron Paul. Meanwhile, state.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is with the audio. It's like recently when I upload some audio, it's getting kind of scratchy. It doesn't seem that I had this problem as much before. I don't know if the software is getting kind of funky or something, but at any rate, sorry about that. But, hopefully you could make out the point that he's making, that we're supposed to be a country of laws. And, it's what's the word? It's almost kind of, it's so cynical, actually, to talk about the rule of law, especially to hear any of these politicians talk about it. When we've got this Patriot Act and the warrant, all of this stuff that's against our own Constitution. And then, we go and we preach to other countries about the rule of law. And what Ron Paul is saying right there is he's about the rule of law, and this is illegal. There's no justice. It's against what we believe in. If you know that this guy is a terrorist, if you know that these people are evil, that they've committed all these crimes, what are you worried about taking them to court? You know, I hear Hannity and these right-wing nut jobs talking about, yeah, they're going to go through the legal process and appeals, and, you know, it's going to take all this time, and that becomes some kind of, some kind of thing for the terrorists to rally behind, and all this kind of BS. You know, dreaming up more demons that we have to deal with. When the fact of the matter is that we supposedly are this beacon on a hill. You know, we're supposed to be the country that everybody looks up to for opportunity and justice. And we're just turning as rotten as hell. You know, as rotten as a banana that's been sitting out for a month. Everything that we said we stand for and believe in, it's just been turned upside down. It's sickening. And the only one of all of these politicians that's out there and pundits that get on TV, all these leftists and all these fascist right-wing nut jobs and all these Christians and all these Jews and Muslims and all these religions, it don't matter. The thing that all of these people have in common is we got to fight this war on terror, and you know, we got to get these evildoers and all this kind of crap. The only one that says this stuff is illegal, it's against the Constitution, and it's against what we are all about. It's not American. The only one that says that is Ron Paul. And now that he's come out and made these comments about Anwar al-Awlaki, you're going to have people start coming after him. But I think that Ron Paul supporters are smarter than that. I hope that they are. You know, along those lines, and I think from here, if anybody wants to call in, you can just call in. I mean, we can talk about this stuff or maybe something else you wanted to get into. But from this point, I think I'm just going to go into a few stories here, talk a little bit more about this Anwar al-Awlaki crap. And we'll just do that through until the end of the show. I don't know if I dropped this in there. I saw Devastated. You had asked for the, or you had thanked me for the link. Those links that I dropped in there earlier were about the al-Awlaki thing, but it wasn't the Ron Paul link. This is the Ron Paul link, the interview with Ron Paul on Fox News. So there's that. You can check that out. And then here's the other links that I was looking at. And you know, speaking of Anwar al-Awlaki, and I think that most people are aware of this, but here's the link story, and this is back in, October 2010, this story from the Mail Online, where they talk about this guy, Anwar al-Awlaki, having lunch at the Pentagon. And there's all kinds of stories. You can Google it. This is just one of the ones that I had, where this guy was, you know, having lunch at the Pentagon, and he was supposedly one of the guys that we reached out to right after 9/11 to build a bridge with the Muslim community and all this kind of stuff. I have this audio from Glenn Greenwald from Salon.com talking about how evil this assassination was and all this stuff. But he says in there that talks about how the government was working with them, trying to reach out to the Muslim community. And then somewhere along the way, I guess he got pissed off about the way we was, you know, processing these wars and stuff. And according to Glenn Greenwald, supposedly al-Awlaki started to get radicalized and telling his brother Muslims that, hey, it's okay to fight back and, you know, use force and all this stuff. I don't know about all that. You know, anybody that works with the military, you know, if you negotiating with the government, you're for a foreign country, and you're negotiating on these kind of terms, you know, that's sensitive. That's sensitive stuff. 911 just happened. The government's saying that some radical Islamists did it. You're a Muslim. And then the government reaches out to you and, hey, I want to try to build a bridge with Muslims. Let's get together. We're trying to build a team of Muslims, and, you know, we want to show everybody there's peace and love, and we ain't against all Muslims. And you throw yourself up in there. Yeah, okay. That don't sound right. There's some sound wrong with that. 911 just happened. The whole world is condemning Islam. All these nut job Christians and Jews out there saying that Islam is an evil religion and all this stuff. So, you know, what's that all about? Why would you join up with the government? I mean, I would think you would be concerned enough that you might somehow get caught up in this crap. So rather than him being radicalized and all that stuff, I just see him as being another one of these CIA assets used and put in place to do this and that and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, who knows? I don't really believe that he was dead this time. The stories I saw was that he was like Osama bin Laden. He'd been dead years ago. But another possibility is he's alive somewhere chilling out. You know, who knows? The point is you can't believe anything that the government says. So, you know, you don't so much buy into this narrative that they gave you. What you're looking at is, why are they putting this story out there? How are they using this? And as I always say, it's always about the agenda. That's what it's about. So, I don't know. You know, just one more thing. I have, what is this, InfoWars, where they're talking about this Anwar al-Awlaki story. I'll drop that in there real quick. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this. It's not too long. It says, Obama provides terrorists a safe haven while hailing death of al-Awlaki. The hypocrisy is staggering, even by Obama standards. And this is by Paul Joseph Watson. He says, President Barack Obama has triumphantly hailed the death of Anwar al-Awlaki as a crushing blow to Al-Qaeda's hopes of acquiring a safe haven, even as the U.S.-backed NATO bombardment of Libya provides terrorists with a safe haven in North Africa. And that's what I was talking about earlier. The world is upside down. You know, it's like Alice in Wonderland. You know, say one thing, the opposite is true, you know, Mr. Opposite or something. Everything he says, the opposite is what the truth is. They go on to say, responding to the news that al-Awlaki, who received an upgrade in his role after death to Chief of External Operations for Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, had been killed, Obama labeled it another significant milestone in the war on terror, adding, this is further proof that Al-Qaeda and its affiliates will have no safe haven anywhere in the world. Aside from the fact that al-Awlaki was a confirmed double agent, and they have a link here, having died at the Pentagon shortly after 9/11, despite being declared the spiritual leader of the hijackers and going on to become chief patsy handler for intelligence agency entrapment operations, the hypocrisy here is staggering, even by Obama standards. If Obama was so concerned about not providing safe havens to terrorists, then why has he just helped hand an entire country over to them in Libya? As we have previously highlighted, shortly after the start of the conflict in March, Abdel Hakim al-Hasidi, the leader of the anti-Gaddafi rebel army, admitted that the rebel ranks include al-Qaeda terrorists who have killed U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. And there's links throughout this story to, follow up on what he's asserting here. It goes on to say, these terrorists are part of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, LIFG, led by Abd al-Hakim Belhaj, designated as a terrorist organization by the U.S. State Department, yet now being hailed by the establishment media as liberators, even as they round up, imprison, and slaughter innocent black people en masse. This is another thing. I've seen a lot of stories that they're going after the black Africans over there. I guess whatever, they're killing anybody that's on Gaddafi's side. And maybe a lot of the black Africans are. But supposedly, with a lot of these stories, they're targeting the black guys. So, there's the brown guys, those Arabs, and then there's the sub-Saharan or the black Africans. It's the same thing, race being used, kill off a bunch of people, and while you're at it, create some division racially. People are evil. And then Obama, the first black president, is all in on this. It's just, it's ridiculous. Almost finished. It says, a 2007 West Point Combating Terrorism Center noted how the LIFG provided more fighters per capita to combat U.S. troops in Iraq than any other nation, or in other words, was primarily responsible for killing American soldiers. Leaders of the LIFG have now seized key strongholds in Tripoli and other areas, refusing to hand over control to the Western-backed National Transitional Council. Going back on Obama's promise that no U.S. ground forces would be sent to Libya, the administration has justified its decision to send troops into the country by citing the missing shoulder-launched missile weapons that were looted by NATO-backed rebel forces. There's a little bit more, but I can't even read any more of that stuff. And what gets me is I think about this, and I've talked about it, but I don't hear anybody else saying this. Back when the uprising started in Libya, Israel, again, Israel, always Israel, Israel provided Gaddafi some mercenaries. Said, hey, we going to help you out there, Gaddafi. And it was 50,000. Let's see if I can find the story here. Here it is. Israel sends 50,000 African mercenaries to Libya. Oh, and check it out. It says African mercenaries. And then they have a video here, I think, where they call some of them. And they're black. It ain't the Arab guys. It's the black Africans. And I've said this. Those supposed mercenaries that Israel provided to Gaddafi probably would turn out to be the rebels or somebody, that's involved with this thing. It's like supposedly they were provided to Gaddafi to calm the populace, keep those Arab Spring revolutions from getting out of hand. But now we got this thing where where this group that the U.S. and NATO is supporting against Gaddafi is, we've named them rebels, and they're trying to take over the country because Gaddafi is such a bad guy. Well, whatever happened to those 50,000 mercenaries that Israel provided? And why don't anybody ever talk about it? Nobody talks about it. Nobody. Nobody will talk about Israel. It's like the elephant in the room. You can't help but see it. You know it's there. But nobody will talk about it. So here we are now, and there's these reports about the rebels killing all these black Africans. Well, wait a minute. Those mercenaries that Israel sent over there were black Africans. you know, all these people did was create more war so that we would stay over there and fight Israel's enemies for them, help Israel to expand their country, which in fact is help Rothschild to expand his footprint over there. That's all we're doing, fighting to take over the resources for Rothschild. And while we're at it, deplete our treasury and weaken this country to the point that it can more easily be absorbed by this fascist world government that's coming down. And that's what it's about. You know, this ain't rocket science. You know, anybody can see that. But, you know, like everything else, I guess we're just falling for it. I'm going to do this. We're at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to play a couple commercials, and we'll be right back. But before I do that, since we're talking about this whole war on terror and Anwar al-Awlaki and, you know, these tricks and traps that these people are using to confuse us and push forward with this agenda, along those lines, here's something that I played on my last show. Something that came up recently here. Chris Christie talking about Sharia law. It's just a minute, so I'm going to play that, and then we'll play a few commercials, and we'll be right back. And let's see if we can get some calls in. Let me drop the phone number there. Give you guys the number. And if you're going to call, it's probably best to just use Skype. But the number 347-324-3704, 347-324-3704. Again, real quick, here's Chris Christie, then we'll have a few commercials.
The made-up specter of Sharia law has found a permanent home in far-right political discourse. And the latest hyperventilation from the Islamophobic crowd comes over the appointment of a Muslim lawyer to the New Jersey Superior Court. Sohail Muhammad represented several individuals wrongly detained after 9/11. This prompted some right-wingers to call him, quote, a long-time mouthpiece for radical Islamists, end of quote. Well, the man who nominated Mr. Muhammad to the bench is fed up with the baseless attacks. His name, Governor Chris Christie. Ignorance is behind the criticism of Sohail Muhammad. Sohail Muhammad is an extraordinary American. Sharia law has nothing to do with this at all. It's crazy. It's crazy. The guy's an American citizen who has been an admitted lawyer to practice in the state of New Jersey, swearing an oath to uphold the laws of New Jersey, the Constitution of the state of New Jersey, and the Constitution of the United States of America. This Sharia law business is crap. It's just crazy. And I'm tired of dealing with the crazies. It's not often that you will find Chris Christie getting a round of applause on this program. But when so many on the right are using fear tactics to improve their poll numbers, Governor Christie has stood up for what is right.
Are you wondering about your retirement portfolio? Are you confident your financial advisor is experienced enough to combat climbing interest rates, taxes, and inflation? Stop guessing and go to the expert, Robert Chapman of International Forecaster. When you subscribe to the International Forecaster, you get Robert Chapman's 45 years of experience, concise investment recommendations. Who needs sugar-coated excuses when you can get the hard facts and proven investment leads you can't get anywhere else? Subscribe now for a free introductory copy to Robert Chapman's International Forecaster. Experience the difference. Subscribe now online at the 3Ws.theinternationalforecaster.com. When you subscribe, you can email Robert Chapman directly to obtain tailored investment advice just for you. Don't wait. Get online and subscribe today. The 3Ws.theinternationalforecaster.com.
You know the Constitution like the back of your hand. You've read books, listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from LibertyStickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's LibertyStickers.com. But wait, there's more. You can buy Liberty Stickers wholesale. Get them for 99 cents each when you put 100 or more in your shopping cart in any combination. Sell them or give them away. They're great for gun shows, flea markets, fairs, outreach, and more. Earn extra money, promote freedom, and spread the word. Need custom stickers, labels, or decals for your organization or business? Liberty Stickers makes them. Go to LibertyStickers.com to order or call 877-873-9626. LibertyStickers.com, the world's most dangerous stickers.
I still meet people who believe that in tough times that Big Brother will save their skin. Really. The list of cities and states that are bankrupt is growing as I speak. Let's face it, you are the first line of defense in a crisis. Do you have an extra supply of storable food and water? The stores will be empty in a matter of hours in a crisis. Look, if you're willing to face reality, call Jan LeBaron at Healthy Harvest, and she can help you get started no matter your budget. Healthy Harvest carries a full line of emergency preparedness and food storage products, including 300 different dehydrated and freeze-dried foods. She has vital information on water storage and purification, emergency evacuation kits, and supplies. Jan LeBaron at Healthy Harvest is in the business of saving lives. Your life, your family's. Call Jan, toll-free 888-311-8940. 888-311-8940. Call now.
Okay, we're back, and I've got like 45 minutes here. Again, if anybody wants to call in, you got the number there. You can use Skype. I think I'm going to move to these stories about Wallstreet, which is a big deal, and this seems to be gaining a little steam. But before that, I just dropped a link. The last link that I dropped in there is a article about that LIFG leader, the Al-Qaeda guy that we are supporting in Libya. Well, one of the recent stories is that this guy writes a column for the London Guardian. And again, I'm just kind of dumbfounded with anybody that believes in this terrorist stuff. People out to get us and all this stuff. There is somebody out to get us, but it ain't who you think it is. It ain't these Muslims. It ain't their religion. Your religion is no better than theirs. You're a Christian. He's a Muslim. That's it. Yours ain't better. Your God ain't better. Their God ain't better. You don't like the way they dress or eat or how they bow and all. They don't like the way you supposedly a Christian and dress like a hoochie and got piercings and wear your skirt up high and, okay about homosexuality. So, to each his own. Don't nobody care about your religion, and don't nobody care about their religion. Leave religion out of it. But millions of people buy into this stupid stuff. And I think that much of it, well, I say most all of it, has to do with religion. Because everything you hear, the first thing that comes out of people's mouth when they start talking about them is, well, it's in their Quran. And shut up. Anyway, so this story here this guy is, the Al-Qaeda LIFG leader, writing a column for the London Guardian. Now, he's supposed to be the enemy. This whole thing is supposed to be about Al-Qaeda. The war on terror. That's the foundation of the war on terror. I mean, following the narrative, what we're told, if you ain't a conspiracy theorist thinking up all this crazy stuff, if you actually believe that what the government told us, and you should, because the media said it too, and a lot of famous people said it, they all agree with it, so it must be true. But if you believe that stuff, then what's going on with this? Why is this Al-Qaeda guy writing a column in the London Guardian? Why would they give him that space to promote his propaganda? And obviously, why would we, not just us, the U.S., but NATO, the Western countries, why would we support him in overthrowing Gaddafi? He's supposed to be Hitler, right? Ain't those the comparisons we heard about Al-Qaeda? It's Hitler. It's the same as Hitler. Well, we funding Hitler? Okay, hold on. I got a call here. Trying to get your mic. I got your mic open. Okay, Skype caller. Who do we have there?
Yes, hello. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing there? Is this B?
Yeah, this is B. Just
All
calling
right.
because I'm glad you mentioned at least what, of course, we don't expect the media to cover anything, any
Right.
protests dealing with Wall Street. But, I think it's sad. I mean, the young people definitely, everybody should be out there. I mean, the banks are going to, they're ripping us off with all the fees, and they're going to continue to do it. I mean, I don't know why. Anytime they tell you, oh, yeah, we're going to help the middle and the low income, question it. I don't care where it comes from. It usually comes from the Democrats, but still question it, because whether they're well-meaning or not, which we know they're not, they can say, oh, yeah, we're going to do this for you, only to have it escalate, another way, the balloon. So now we have all these other fees that we have to pay. And, people, again, they need to just find another way, find another bank system, whatever. It's like you say, we have to do our own thing, but people need to wake up, but the Americans are reactive. They're not, basically proactive. They're reactive. So rather than seeing something before it comes, they wait until it comes and, maybe you might get an
Yeah. No, you're right. That's why I always try to talk about the agenda and talk about how this agenda is what's moving forward, because you have to see the big picture, or you got to look at it as a big picture, because if you focus from one story to another, then, as you say, you're just being reactive and chasing down this story and that story. You got to see how these things are fitting together.
Well, the point is, and I tell people the basic thing is like, let's get to the lowest common denominator. Remember that? In other words, they feel that they should control, they should determine who should live on this earth. And if you are allowed to live on this earth, we are going to dictate what you are allowed to do, period. That's the bottom line, regardless. I don't care what government it is, and they know that people have the herding instinct, so they're going to go along with the program.
Right.
For the most part, the masses. And that's what it's about. That's what the bottom line is. We're feeling threatened. We should be feeling threatened about our existence. That's what we should be feeling threatened about.
Well, most people don't even think about it. They're not even worried about the existence. They just consider, well, of course we're still going to be here and everything,
Oh, really?
They don't, well, I think that's what most people think. They don't really consider that this is really about our existence.
When they start saying, well, guess what? I think you're a terrorist plane. You die. It's like, just think on the thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, you're there. Come on. They need to be waking up and saying, you don't give anyone that kind of power, but yet they believe, if they can believe in someone named Yahshua or Jesus or whatever to come and save the world, then how can they not believe that you don't give this kind of power to one person and say, well, I determine that you're a threat to this government. Boom, no questions asked, die. You, your family, your line, your offspring, all die. That's what it's going towards.
I tell you, honestly, I think a lot of people don't, I totally agree with you there, but I honestly believe that most people don't see it that way, that they think it'll never happen to me, the same way that they were okay about the Patriot Act because, hey, it'll never happen to me. That's for those other people.
Right. Well, I guess they really don't believe. Just like, you know, I mean, those known as the Jews, or what they call themselves Jews. I mean, there's a movie been out, Defiance. It's based on a true story. They didn't believe that it would happen to them. That they did out in the woods,
Right,
you know,
right.
living, you know, like nomads. And, I mean, read the key. I'm Sarah's key. Same thing. What friends did. Maybe humanity has trouble believing that it can't happen to them. Maybe all groups have this problem. Maybe humanity.
Yeah,
has
and I
this
think
problem.
so. I think so.
Yeah, because earthquake. We didn't think that earthquake would happen here in D.C. area, the metro area. But
Right.
supplies, boom. We're still trying to recover in some areas. I mean, I'm walking at past a prominent synagogue, and you have two police officers blocking off the entrances and the exit. It says, "We support Israel." Wow. I mean, that's never happened. You got two Montgomery County police officer cars. Never seen this happen in a nice upper boom area, you know. But yeah, you got two police officers standing right
Well,
there.
got to take care. No matter what happens, got to make sure you cover up for, you know, the Jewish this or that or the Israel, you know. You can starve or you can be getting hit over head over there, but get some police over there to, you know, take care of that synagogue. And it's part of this whole conditioning that we have.
Never seen that before. I mean, I wonder, people just walking by like nothing. You know, it's just like when all the kids say, "Oh, well, that's just a jet." Oh, really? A jet lasts. I mean, you know, this thing lasts for 2-3 minutes, and you know, even 10 minutes sometimes. And so you say jet? That's a jet. Oh, come on, people! I don't understand.
Give me a second here. I got another call. I'll leave you on the line. But
oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna leave because you're right on target, especially with this protest. More people need to be doing that.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right. Bye. All right. I think this is my buddy Rusty. What's happening, Rusty?
See, I had to camouflage my number because I know my normal number is on the block list over there at BTR.
And actually, I was seriously, when I saw that, I didn't think at all about you. I was thinking about CH, Constitutional. I think his might start with 701. I wasn't sure, but.
Oh, is he in North Dakota?
Well, I guess not. For some reason,
because he would be the only other guy up here, I guess.
Maybe 770 was. I thought his was that, but at any rate, I didn't think about you at 701. Then I saw it on the chat.
No, you know, I just kind of had to call in. I'm kind of feeling real mellow tonight, but, you know, it's one, I really don't think that the American people don't care. What I think is, you know, middle class, normal guys like you and I and everybody else just go to work, do our job, go home. We know what's going on. We know we're getting screwed. We know we're getting a raw deal. And it's not that we don't care. It's that we're to the point we just can't do anything anymore about it. You know, we've tried to play by the rules. You know, we go out, we vote every November. I vote every November. I vote on all these stupid little, I don't care if it's an election for a dog catcher where there's only one person running. I go vote. I mean, it's what I do. You know, I mean, but it doesn't make a difference because it's the system. The system is screwed from the inside out, and anybody that enters the system it doesn't change the system, and they just add themselves to it. And I think the majority of the people realize it. You know, the ones that you see on Fox News and CNN, you know, they're out there interviewing. I remember right after they supposedly whacked old bin Laden, you know, they got the drunks out there in front of the White House, which that was got to be the most staged thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was 9 o'clock in the morning. These kids were already lit up on beer, you know. I mean, they had a pre-party for that one.
Well, and a few cases. Hey, you want some beer?
I mean, you know, and they parade these kids out there like, whoa, he's dead. Who's dead? Oh, no, but I got beer. You know, and I mean, that's not America. America's guys like you and I that go to work. And I'm almost to the point where I just quit bitching about it. I mean, there's not much else you can do about it. Of course, you know, I'm a big prepping guy. I mean, all I can say is just prepare for it. You know, the system's going to crash. I mean, we all know it's going to crash, and you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but maybe good riddance, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like my electricity, and I like having air conditioning and heat and all that, and running water. But if I had to do without it and be a little freer, I'd probably be happier. You know?
Yeah, you know, I tell you, the thing about this is, I think that most of us are thinking like you're talking about, and we have a pretty decent idea of how this thing will unfold. But the thing is, nobody really knows how, you know, how bad it will get and how things will totally unfold. So there's that uncertainty out there. But the other part to what you were saying about how, you know, the system is just so broke and there's just nothing you could do about it. What I think about is, like I was talking earlier, how we just have been, and I used term the term I said, I wasn't going to say it because your ears might hurt, but how men are whipped by women.
Yeah.
That us citizens are just whipped. You know, we don't have any fight left in us. We're just, oh man, just, you know, just.
And you know, we keep talking about taking more and more money from people at work. You know, I was looking at a statistic the other day that said if they took the top 20% of taxpayers in this country and took everything they earned, every dime that they earned, it would pay the interest on the debt for 6 months. So what's the point? What's the freaking point?
Well, you know, I have to say, though, I've heard that, and I've read that a couple times, and I totally understand it, you know, I mean, but it always kind of strikes me when those articles or the pundits are on there kind of advocating that, which it may totally be logical, whatever, but, you know, so what does that mean? It means, well, don't leave the rich alone because it ain't going to do that anyway. Well, they're going to take the money from somewhere, and I think many of us expect that at some point they're going to raise our taxes, talking about they got to pay down on the debt and stuff. And they're already talking about, you know, Social Security's got to be cut and, you know, all these cuts to these different programs. So if they can talk about that, yeah, they need to go ahead and talk about hitting the people that's profited over all this time, too. And I don't mean just, you know, dumping on them, but making sure that they pay their fair share. And we had a policy of, what is it, graduated tax or something where, you know,